Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to break down what relics and areas I'm going to be picking for the two accounts I'm looking to play for the up and coming Runescape League's Equilibrium coming on August 10th this coming Monday. Now, the two accounts I'm going to play very different. So the main account, Me272, is going to be the one I'm going to go and try and point chase and try and get the trophy. Grab the Hog is simply there for a good time and just to AFK a little bit and maybe get a trophy of his own. Probably not as high rank as the main account, but it's just a good way to have a bit of AFK time to utilize the Hogger and hopefully get some GP from the rewards as well. So in terms of what we got yesterday, we got the times the update is going to launch. So 1 PM UK BST time, which is nice actually because it gives me a bit of time to prepare for it. I am debating whether to stream the opening day. If I can get it sorted and sort of like ready to go tomorrow, I'll let you guys know in the comment section and the community tab if it's going to be the case. But that could definitely be something, at least over leagues, I could stream a time or two anyway. But we're not here for that. We're here to talk about relics and what my relic choices are going to be. So for each tier, I'll go through what my choices are going to be for the main account and then also for the Hogger. So to start with, tier 1. Now tier 1 actually is a bit of it's a challenge at the minute because Golden Touch is normally the one a lot of people would like sort of ignore, but thieving nowadays is exceptionally strong in RuneScape 3. There's a lot of brand new thieving updates which have come into the game since the thieving update about 6 months ago, maybe a bit more than that. So that is a very valid option, and Golden Touch also as well eliminates the problem for cash, which can be a very big struggle, especially for the early game. But what I think I'm going to go for is Survivalist. Survivalist on the main account will give it access to the best tools, and basically just mean I can just go and chase all those resources nice and early, bank the resources for a relic we're going to use a little bit later on. But I think I'm going to go Survivalist. However, when the update drops on Monday, don't be surprised if I've changed and gone for Golden Touch. But I do think Survivalist gives you the best balance between having those tools as well as having the storage as well, which you can go and store the materials in, so you're not having to run too far back and forward to the bank. Now the Hogger is actually going to go for Endless Harvest. Surprise enough, it's AFK. It's going to mean that I can go and do resource skilling and just stock up on it, so it's one I don't have to pay too much attention to. It's nice AFK, it's an easy one for the Hogger to go and pick. Now tier 2, I was struggling between Superheated and Divine Druid. Now the reason why is because they are the two more OP ones. Animal Wrangler really isn't as strong in RuneScape 3 as opposed to Old School, just because it doesn't have things like the Hunt's Guild and like newer tier Hunt stuff. It can be a little bit strong when it comes to Anachronia, but I don't think personally in my game style I'll utilize Big Game Hunter enough, so it's not really worth it to me. Now for the main account, I'm going to go for Superheated. Now the reason why I'm going for Superheated is because some of my other relic choices further down the line will kind of address the issue with Herblore. So that should hopefully fix that, and with my areas as well, it'll make a bit more sense when I explain it a little bit later on. But for the main account, I'm going to go Superheated. Now for the Hogger, I think Superheated will also be the choice I'm going to go for as well. Just with the fact of the amount of resources it's going to have, it's going to be doing a lot of mining, which will then sort of lead into smithing, and then utilize that to get a decent amount of smithing XP. Now, the nice thing about Superheated is because of the smithing process, you'll get equipped with some decent weapons and armors very early on, and even though it will be melee, which will kind of force you down that route, I think it'd be nice to actually go and do the melee build. I didn't do it last year, and it was one of the things which a lot of people said they had fun with, so I'm going to go and give it another try and see if it's actually going to be decent with melee, rather than sort of relying on necromancy and mage like I did in the previous leagues. The Hogger, again, just because it's going to have the supplies, I think Superheated is going to be worth it, so those are going to be my choices for tier 2. Now tier 3, for the main account, I'm going to go for Nature's Network. Now the reason why I'm going to go for that is because I'm not going to pick Divine Druid. In my opinion, Nature's Network, because of the instant growing of herbs, will basically sort out my issues with Herblore. So that will supply me all the herbs I need. Something a little bit later on will then sort them into unfinished potions. So that is the one I'm going to pick for that account. And to be fair, I think the Hogger might take either the Nature's Network or the Voidwalker. Now the Voidwalker does give you a chance of some nice procs for some items, which I think would be nice to have a bit of a different path. I don't want the two accounts to be solely like similar, I want it to be different. So I think for the Hogger, we'll go Voidwalker. We have the access to all the teleports, which would be nice, and with the benefit of, again, those extra items, they can help us with skilling. Now tier 4. Now I thought tier 4 was an absolute banker to just go for Transmutation. Transmutation would have just been the easy one, and I do think, especially on the Hogger, Transmutation is what I'm going to go for because it's going to be more of a skilling account. It's going to be more AFK. Now the main account, you can make a case for all three tier 4 ones, but I do think that Transmutation is where I'm going to go. Again, Transmutation basically means that I can have any tier of herb I want. It can also mean I can have an endless supply of secondaries through Limpwork routes as well. And also with the areas I'm going to pick, it means I can get Starbloom seeds as well, because with Transmutation, you can go and get some lower tier seeds of the same group and then basically go and upgrade them from there. So that is going to be my plan, I think, is that I'll go and eventually get some lower tier seeds and then upgrade them as well, which would be really nice. If I enjoy combat, because hopefully with Superheated, I can do combat and sort of use that and have a go and see what it's like. I might go for the Archaeology Relic because of just how good some of these combat relics are. I'm not sure. So with the main account, I think it's going to be Transmutation, but don't be surprised if we go for the Archaeology Relic. The Hugger will just simply be Transmutation because it's just so beneficial. Now, both accounts will just go for Reduction Master. I just think the Clue Connoisseur, I'm just not going to do them. I know how I play. And last year, I did pick the Clue Connoisseur, and I kind of wasted that relic because I just didn't do the clues. Like, I do think for someone to do Clue Connoisseur, you need to enjoy clues, and I'm just not that person. So I think Production Manager benefits my style of gameplay over Devout. Devout is very good for, like, wanting to go and do PVM. Maybe you want to go and do rune crafting. But for me, I'm not really thinking I'm going to do that. Nature's Network, by being able to instant spawn the Cruis butterflies, should really look after rune crafting for me. So that's my kind of plan there. But I think Production Manager will pretty much tick off a lot of skills. Now, because of the areas I'm going to pick, I'm going to go for Perfection. And I'm pretty sure on that one as well. I don't think there's really anything worth using Rejuvenated for. Maybe Divine Druid. But with Perfection, I do think I'm going to pick the area which has the Invention Guild. And what my master plan was to use Nature's Network to go and spam Cruis butterflies, but also get me a large amount of herbs, and then use my machines to basically turn my herbs into unfinished potions. And that kind of gives me a semi-Divine Druid effect of, I'm not having to spend time making unfinished potions. I'm going to let my machines just do it for me, and my machines can go and like fund a lot of skills and do a lot of stuff with that as well. So that is the plan. In terms of a Hugger, I think Perfection is just the one there as well. I'm not quite sure on the areas for the Hugger, but we'll see where we go. And then finally, Scenic Faith is just kind of a no-brainer for both accounts. The fact you get accuracy increase, you have the ability for 100% prayer protection, and have soul split on top, I just think it completely outranks the rest as well. So that is going to be the plan. So just to go through it one more time, the main account will go for Survivalist, Superheated, Nature's Network, Transmutation, Production Master, Perfection, and then finally the Scenic Faith. The Hugger will go for Endless Harvest, Superheated, Voidwalker, Transmutation, Production Master, Perfection, and then a Scenic Faith. The Hugger, I can't imagine doing much with the Scenic Faith because it'll just be pretty much skilling. But you never know, we might have some fun towards the end of it as well. And really, the Hugger's just there just to be a bit of fun and just a bit of a side project to see how we can do in terms of points as well. Now, areas. What am I going to do for areas? Now, I have a bit of a big problem when it comes to areas because I'm undecided between two. Now, I'm going to work backwards. So my last area for both accounts is going to be Anachronia. Simply because the Dream of Ida is just too good, it's just too broken, and the XP you're going to get there pretty much ticks off 5 200 mils, which is going to be a lot of league points because you'll get something like a 25 mil, 35 mil, 50 mil, and 200 mil bonus. They are just too worthwhile having for that, so that's going to be a lot of points from there. Now, in terms of my second spot, I think that's going to be Prif, and the reason why I'm going to do Prif is because with the Nature's Network, I am looking at using those Cruis butterflies to go and spam my levels. So basically what happens there, when it's Cruis hour, whenever you go and harvest a herb, you have a chance to spawn a Cruis butterfly, which basically gives you XP in your lowest level skill. But because I've got Nature's Network, I instantly regrow the herb, which basically means that I'm spamming those butterflies. So that is something for that. Now, the first area is where I'm struggling, but I think I've kind of made my decision. I wanted to do Desert because I think with Desert, God Wars 2 would be very good drops as well from God Wars 2. But also, I think it's Asgarnia, which is going to give me Falador, God Wars 1, Nex, AOD, and then also the Invention Guild. The Invention Guild is very important for me because I was going to utilize the machines. You can also have the Crafting Guild as well to make the Star Bloom armors as well. I just think that's going to be preferable for me to go and do that as well because in terms of points, God Wars 1 and Nex are going to be a lot easier than doing like Calfight King and all that kind of stuff as well. So that is what I think I'm going to do for the main account is go for Asgarnia, then go for Prif, then finally go for Anachronia. Now the Hugger is interesting. I think the first region I'm going to go for is going to be Kandarin just because of the capabilities skill. So that's going to be player and farm, but it's also going to be the fishing hub as well as loads of other stuff as well. You're going to have the Rangers Guild. The Rangers Guild will give you access pretty much to fletching to get fletching ticked off as well, which is really nice. And there's a couple of other things dotted like RD and below, which are going to be nice to be able to pick up for that as well. Anachronia will definitely be the last pick. Maybe I go Desert on that one, just for a bit of variety and change as well, because on the Hugger, I'm not planning on doing Nature's Network, because again, it's just going to be too same for the main account. Maybe we can go onto the Desert there and do a little bit of God Wars 2. I think that's what I'm going to do, actually. I think for the Hugger, we'll go Kandarin, Desert, and then finally Anachronia as well. I was tempted by the Wilderness, just for the fact of Dungeoneering, but yeah, I don't think it offers too much there. And the fact you can transmute as well the primal laws kind of means that the thing I'd really go there for is kind of not worth it. But that's going to be my plan. In terms of the combat blessings, I think for both accounts, for the first sort of tier, I'm just going to go Sara. I think the extra armor is just too strong. And the fact I'm going down the smithing route to make smithing armors and weapons, it's just going to be really beneficial for that as well. But what I'm really interested in is what is your guys' plans? What are you going to go for? Let me know if there's any guides or anything you want me to talk through before leagues. I have got a couple of videos already lined up, ready to go. So we'll have 2 leagues videos tomorrow, which I really hope you guys enjoy. But that's pretty much going to be it for now. But let me know what you guys are planning in terms of your relics and your area choices. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, I'll see you guys very soon in the next one.